Imagine you're walking toward the ocean, walking through a beautiful tropical forest. You could hear the waves up ahead. You can smell the ocean spray. The air is moist and warm. Feel a pleasant, cool breeze blowing through the trees. Walk along a path, coming closer to the sea. As you come to the edge of the trees, you see the brilliant aqua color of the ocean ahead. You walk out of the forest and onto a long stretch of white sand. The sand is very soft powder. Imagine taking off your shoes, walking through the hot white sand toward the water. The beach is wide. The beach is long. Hear the waves crashing to the shore. Smell the clean salt water and beach. You gaze again toward the water. It's a bright blue-green. See the waves washing up onto the sand, receding back toward the ocean, washing up, flowing back down. Enjoy the ever-repeating rhythm of the waves.
I want to share my reflections on the love and guidance of an unstoppable woman. My mother was the driving force of our family. To attempt to capture her presence, her spirit, is to revisit a world filled with strong lessons, comforting hugs, always with her arms around me, and so many kisses to take away the wounds, whether physical or emotional, or whether I was 5 or whether I was 55. It didn't matter. She would always wrap me in her arms. I learned from Mom the love of a family sitting at a table together, talking about our days at school, our friends, and of course, what was happening in the world of the 60s and the early 70s. We lived in a suburb of St. Louis during those years. We didn't have family nearby. When family and friends visited, it meant a party. It meant food, and it was an amazing love fest. Mom and my dad were civil rights activists and leaders during this time. Our house was always filled with like-minded adults. Mom, of course, was serving delicious foods and lots of cocktails to these amazing people. Mom was, of course, with everyone. They talked, they marched, they drank, and they laughed together. She taught me lessons of fighting for what was right, to open my mind to possibilities, and to fight for the underdog, personally and politically. Mom was an actress on TV, radio, theater, a 2-woman show she created with her best friend, Pat Ball. She produced radio shows, did interviews with celebrities, and was always coming up with new ideas, even into her 80s. The meditation you just heard, she was in her mid-80s when she did. She did voiceovers on the radio and played numerous characters. She could make her voice sound like just about anything. When I was probably anywhere from 7 to 8 years old, she was at a play at the Gateway Theater in St. Louis. I'm guessing I had to join her there for the rehearsal because there was nobody to watch me. I sat in the empty theater, probably in the first or second row. I remember my mom had to kiss, like really kiss, an actor. I totally freaked out and started crying. I didn't understand, and it took her coming down off the stage to explain to me it was all pretend. When I was in my early teens, I was in a bit of trouble. Well, a lot of trouble, and constantly. Mom wanted a diversion. She came home one day, walking in the back kitchen door through a breezeway with this 8-week-old Irish setter puppy. I will never forget that moment, realizing Mom had gone out to find this puppy for us, and it was a beautiful diversion. Bridie, my sister Hillary, came up with her name because Bridie became the most beloved in the house. When Bridie had 11 puppies, Mom made sure we were all involved with the feeding the puppies milk from a bottle because Bridie ran out of milk. We weighed them daily. We made sure every one of those puppies lived, and they did. We even kept one of the puppies who became Luke, son of Bridie. Her diversions kept us all whole, kept us together, and made us a more loving family. I'm guessing here, if everybody knew my mom, had gotten my mother's eyebrow. My mom could raise just one eyebrow and give you a look that will shut you up as fast as anything. She didn't have to really yell or say anything, just that eyebrow, which meant to either stop what I was doing that annoyed her or to change my tone of voice or just shut up. It could also mean I was in really big trouble. It could mean she disagreed. It didn't matter. Once you got that eyebrow, you always back down. In later years, most recently, it was always fun to say, "Ooh, I got that eyebrow. I'm in trouble." There was never any doubt in my mind, even for a nanosecond, how much my mother loved me. She supported me through all my life journeys, whether successes or failures. She was always there to support me. When I came home from China with Ben and then Hannah, they became her total joy in her later years. She was 71 when we adopted Ben and 73 when we adopted Hannah. She had already been a grandmother to Eva and then a mother to Eva as she adopted and raised Eva as her newest daughter. She loved having her grandkids visit her. She had been on a step stool in the kitchen when he was 3 as she cooked. She loved to sit on her porch and watch the kids play. As Hannah grew up, they would sit together on the back porch, talking and laughing about everything and anything. My mother could connect with anyone. Mom had a passion for cooking like no one. My mother was the keeper of traditions, both large and small. They weren't necessarily traditions because of religion, but she did create our traditions for Passover, Seder, and Hanukkah that our family still follows today. And I can always assure you there was amazing food. If anyone wonders where I gained my love and passion for cooking food and feeding family and friends, of course, it was from my mom. She bought cookbooks as if they were a mystery novel just released. Somehow, and I don't really know how, when we lived in St. Louis, Someone at the Post-Dispatch knew of her or found out about her cooking. So they did a full-page spread of Mom making shrimp and lobster sauce in a wok in our kitchen in Kirkwood, Missouri. She was in her glory for sure. She taught me how to make potato latkes, chicken soup, meatballs, apple cake, and of course, shrimp and lobster sauce. If she found a new great recipe, she would always share it with me. I still make all her dishes. It was Mom who had the first latkes party. I just continued the tradition. Mom didn't care what the holiday was. She cooked food for it. She made the most amazing corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day, my dad's favorite, go figure. These traditions, lovingly maintained, became the framework of my childhood, adulthood, grounding me in the love of family. Perhaps the greatest gift my mother gave me was her love, steadfast, boundless, unconditional. Her affection was never dependent on success or perfection. She celebrated my uniqueness, encouraging me to pursue passions and explore the world with curiosity and courage. She hugged me tightly in moments of joy and in times of sorrow, and always let me know that I was enough just as I was. Her love was my anchor and my launching pad, rooting me deeply while empowering me to reach for the sky. Looking back on my childhood, I see how my mother's influence continued to ripple through my life. The lessons she taught, the value of standing up for the right thing, the strength found in love, gathering and feeding family and friends as often as possible. That has shaped me to be the person I am today. She is both my history and my inspiration. I honor the countless ways she shaped my life. Her laughter, her eyebrow, her hugs, an absolute belief in all her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and pushed us all to follow our own dreams. She was courageous, committed, and passionate about her beliefs, whether it was social justice, family, or friends. She was and remains the heart of my childhood and adulthood, a guiding light whose warmth and passion endures.
So my name's Eva. I'm Thea's daughter and granddaughter. For the last few years of my grandmother's life, and especially the last year of her life, Thea thanked me almost every time that I was with her for keeping her alive and for making the last portion of her life so wonderful and beautiful. What I didn't do as much is to thank her for all the things that she did for me and added to my life. Thank you, Grandma. Let's start at the beginning. Don't worry, it's not going to be too long. I am 46, but thank you for the sacrifice you made by fighting so hard and winning to rescue me from an unsafe situation and take on a second round of parenting, right at the height of your incredibly successful career. Thank you for giving me absolutely every opportunity to find my strengths and my passions so that I was able to pursue a career that brings me joy every day and to use music to process, express, and share the myriad of my intense emotions. Thank you, Grandma, for showing through your example that a woman's potential is limitless and how to engage with life with a graceful combination of passion, drive, strength, and independence. Thank you, Grandma, for always forgiving me when I couldn't be my highest and best self with you, to you, and for you. When I screamed at you in the kitchen as a teenager and I slammed my door. When I lied straight in your face as a teenager and you fiercely defended me and then discovered that I wasn't being honest. Remember that, Holly? Sneaking out to the island? When I lost my patience as your hearing faded and then as your memory faded. When I brought outside stresses into the energy of our precious time together. Thank you for the never-ending unconditional love that you poured onto me for the last 46 years. That became the foundation of the love that I have for myself and has rippled out into the love that I'm able to then give and share to friends, family, and hundreds of suffering souls that have never experienced such unconditional love before. Life-changing, life-saving love. Thank you for always being here, always, even now. Always saying yes when I needed to talk, always being excited when I said I'm coming home, never making me feel like I was a burden or in the way, always seeing me as a light and showing me the world through amazing trips overseas and fun weekend outings. I am so honored that I could give back to you in the way that you gave to me. To move into your house years ago and pick up the pieces that were too hard for you to pick up anymore. To slowly transition into a loving and nurturing mother-like role for you. In your last year of life, you taught me so many lessons as you were learning the very same lessons. How to truly love. How to love even without being able to take away another person's pain or discomfort. How to fully accept that we actually have no control. How to surrender into pain, but yet not give up. I believe you would have held on until you knew that your babies were happy and okay. And you did good, Grandma. Rest easily knowing that through your guidance and influence and love, I am okay. We are okay.
Well, you've all seen so many pictures, family pictures, young and old. But let me tell you how it all began. I met Thea 6 months short of 90 years ago. My sister. I'll be there. So we grew up in Brooklyn, 4-story apartment house. And I was terribly jealous of her. We used to fight like cats and dogs. Actually worse than cats and dogs. And became the two most lovingest people you could ever imagine. And she went on to, at that time was junior high school. Nowadays it's middle school. And she graduated summa cum laude, and I graduated summa cum laude or something like that. But she went on to New York University and studied theater. And did a really good job of it throughout her life. Not quite reaching where she wanted to reach, but having a wonderful time doing things. An interesting thing happened. As a family, we belonged to a lodge in Brooklyn. A bunch of our family friends and things. It's called the Free Sons of Israel. And as a teenager, that's the last place she wanted to be. And when she was about 17, there was nobody home. She had nothing to do. Her friends weren't around, and she decided to go with us. At that meeting, she met someone, a retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Air Force. My best friend, Alex Abel. And family grew. They moved to their own apartment in Brooklyn, Flatbush section of Brooklyn. Had Madeline and Hillary, and things went on from there really nice. And they, from there, Alex was working on Long Island in an electronics company, which turned out to be pretty funny. It was the same electronics company that my wife's father worked for at one time. And from there, he took a position with McDonnell Douglas in St. Louis. And you heard from Madeline about their life and part of their life in St. Louis, which was absolutely marvelous. And from there, he took a job with a division of IBM in Maryland. And so they moved to Virginia. And you've heard what Thea meant to not only Madeline and Eva, Ben, Hannah, Eden, everybody. Joseph, by the way, thank you so much. And we got that, including our DNA from our mom. And she lived a wonderful life till 92, 3. And there is so much that you've already heard about this person who wasn't just this person. She was very special, a very special person in our family. Loving like you can't imagine. I mean, you can't. It's just the warmest love and feeling, whether it was just a visit or a holiday visit. And so I've kind of brought you up a date, up to where everybody else is. Thanks so much for being here.
Grandma Thea was really nice to me all the time. She was never mean to me or rude to me at any time. I have some guilt of when she could walk. I would sometimes get mad at her when she would just ask me a simple question and still she didn't talk about me to my face or behind my back in a bad way. One of the great memories after she passed was we went to go eat dinner at Chow Praya, and we brought a picture of her in a frame and put it at the end of the table, and we asked for a little plate so we could all put a little piece of our food on that plate for her. Joseph's niece, Sophia, really cared about Grandma Thea, and it was her idea to bring the picture to Chow Praya so she could eat with us. I want to say something to Grandma Thea. Dear Grandma Thea, I just wanted you to know that I really love you and miss you, and I was thinking about you all week at horse camp, worried about you. I regret a lot of things that I said no to before you passed.
Hello, I'm Joseph. I cared for Thea in her last 6 weeks at her home, and provided many levels of care. One of the most important, I do believe, was love. Um, I'm going to read what I wrote. So what I was trying to say is that I came to love her dearly in those 6 months or 6 weeks. And it was a beautiful, very difficult, but very beautiful time. And I'm so thankful to have been so lovingly embraced by this family, by her family. And through that embrace, I was given the opportunity to meet and come to love Thea Abel very deeply. I felt from the beginning that Thea and I had known each other before, perhaps many times before. I immediately recognized her as one of my most important teachers. I will briefly try to share the most important thing that I believe that she taught me. These things we cling so tightly to will dissolve into the truth of impermanence. Our clothes, our possessions, our money, our cars, our houses, our likes and dislikes, our memories, everything we think of as who we are will be gone. There comes a time when even what we think of as real slips away and we are left with nothing but love. Love is gravity. It pulls us together. It holds us to our center. Thea was a supermassive source of gravity. She became the center of a solar system. Her love for others and their love for her held everything around her in a stable and gentle orbit. I wrote this poem after a very intense conversation with her. There will come a time. This is based very much on that conversation. There will come a time. There will be the experience of the ground giving way. There will no longer be anything for your anchor to hold. This center that you have held to will dissolve. The form within the form within which you have placed your faith will dissolve. I can tell you that there is peace on the other side. Before this, there will be suffering and confusion. The peace will not come before the war. The coming cannot be before the going. Being follows non-being. You will be afraid. Terror will grip you. Suffering will destroy your mind. But with no mind, you will rest. When it is done, there will be ecstasy, light, suffering, light, ecstasy. One will give way to the other, the eternal dance of Nataraj. Thea, I cannot express in words my appreciation for what you gave me. Thank you for teaching me to love without clinging. Thank you for teaching me to let go. Thank you for allowing me to bask in the light of your grace. Thank you for accepting me.
Thank you all for being here today to celebrate and remember my grandmother, Thea Marshall Abel. It means a lot to our family. It means a lot to me personally, and I'm sure it means a lot to her. Thea was someone who was very special to so many people. She was a loving mother. She was a loving grandmother. She was also a really good friend, someone you can really speak to and trust her to actually listen and take in what you're saying. And she was also a beloved community member of the union. So alongside all of that, she was also, as Joseph mentioned, a brilliant teacher. She was someone who was a great mentor and a great friend to me. And there were many lessons that she taught me personally that I've taken and carried throughout my life. One of these lessons, and one of which Eva mentioned in great detail, was that of gratitude. Being grateful for where you are, being grateful for people who are supportive of you and who are supporting you through these difficult times. Being grateful for family, being grateful for friends who are reaching out to you to offer support, to give you a guiding hand, to give you a shoulder to cry on. Every Thanksgiving, we went down to the Northern Neck to celebrate with Thea, to celebrate with Eva, to celebrate with Adam, as well as Eden. And when one of our traditions was going around the family table and saying what we were thankful for. And we've kept that tradition since I think we were 5, 6 years old. And Grandma Thea always said that she was just very grateful that we could all congregate in this space, that we could all be here together, that we could all share about our lives when many people don't really have that fortune. Grandma Thea always stressed the importance of gratitude and of being thankful for where you are, of who you are, and that you have a loving, supportive family and community around you. That was one of the most important lessons I learned from her. But there were many others. Another lesson I learned was the importance of family, the importance of having people you can talk to about different issues, whether they're good issues, whether they're bad issues, whether they're relationship issues, whether they're issues you're having in your professional life, and being able to talk with someone who can help guide you through, ask you different questions to help you critically evaluate your situation, where you are, and kind of help guide you to the where you want to be without directly giving you an answer. So she helped me learn more about myself. She helped me learn how to introspect about who I was, where my goals were, where I wanted to be, maybe 3 to 5 years from now. And she was someone who you could just trust to be there for you, to listen to you without judgment, and to really help you feel loved and feel supported in a given moment when you're struggling or when you're thriving. She was always the first person to comment on a lot of my Facebook posts when I talk about my work in the advocacy field, because similar to her, I also went into advocacy. I also have been fighting for the underdog, fighting for disabled people, fighting for disability rights, and fighting for people who might need additional support when compared to like non-disabled people. So similar to her, I took a pathway of advocacy and being able to critically think about different aspects of advocacy, different aspects of people's lives, and really being able to empathize with them, listen to other people's stories, and being able to really understand where they're coming from, what's at the heart of people's issues or lives is really important and has really carried with me throughout my journey. Grandma Thea was a huge inspiration to me personally and professionally, and she was always someone who I could rely on to talk with, to converse with. Every time when I went down to the Northern Neck, I spent a good amount of time sitting with Grandma Thea on the porch or in her room or just in the living room talking about my work in the autism field. And she was always asking so many questions. She was asking about things like the gender differences in autism in males and females. She was talking about or asking questions about intersectionality and how autism shows up in different groups of people, whether it's women, whether it's people of color, whether it's people of different backgrounds, people in different countries. And she was always coming to me from a place of curiosity rather than judgment. She was always willing to learn, even though she was 90, 91, 92. She was always a lifelong learner. She always wanted to really see what we've been up to and learn more about different topics she might be unfamiliar with, especially if it aligned with some of our passions, especially if it's something that we're really interested in. And so she was someone who's very influential. She's helped me along my journey, and she was also a great friend, a great family member, and someone who I could just rely upon in my most difficult moments. So it's been a really difficult week personally for all of us, but and he didn't mention this a second ago, but we went to a restaurant, we went to a Thai place, and we brought her picture with us, and we offered different bits of food that she might like to really symbolize the fact that she's always with us and that we're never alone, that she's never alone, that we're always thinking about her, and that our love is ever present no matter where we are, no matter who we are, and no matter what we might be going through. And her love as well is ever present for us.
Songs. I'm gonna take a minute or two. Maybe someone could get me some water, which is eat it. I would love that. Jeff is gonna pull the words up. The first song is called In Dreams, and I've never heard of it till about a year ago after Thea fell. And I heard it and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to sing this to Grandma a lot, and certainly during the last couple of weeks of her life. Know you are rest in peace. Dream your sweet dreams. Filling up the soul is with thee. Go out and open doors with your love, with your faith, with your compassion, with your grace. Oh, with your grace. Beloved child, you are the light of the world. Beloved child, go out, spread light to the world. Be strong, be kind, be brave. Know your mind, know that you're divine. Know it's all right to be afraid. Know you are loved. Rest in peace. Dream your sweet dreams till your soul is released. Know you are loved. Rest in peace. Dream your sweet dreams till your soul is released. Just one more time. Know you are loved.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher ani mesavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibartadvam, veshivtecha, vivitecha, ulichtecha vaderech, ushachbecha, ukumecha, ukshartam leot, hayidecha, v'hayilatotafot beinenecha, uktavtam, amuzuzot peitecha, Visharecha, Lamantis Keru, Vasitem, Mekomitsutai, Vitem Kerushim, Lalechem, Ani, Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hoseti Etchem, Meretz Misraim, Liot Lachem, Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all of your hearts, with all of your soul, and with all of your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I change you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Before Madeline gives the closing remarks, I want to quickly explain why we're doing a tattoo station. Because those of you who know Thea would be confused and surprised. However, she changed a lot in her last year of life. And I got these two real tattoos in honor of her. So when Thea fell, Madeline and I got matching dragonfly tattoos because dragonflies have always been meaningful to Thea. And then we decided, I don't know if it was Joseph or Eden's idea.
It was my idea.
Eden's idea. We asked Thea if she wanted us to order some tattoos from Amazon, with dragonflies, because Thea saw my tattoo and Madeline's tattoo, and she was like, I want one. We're like, oh yeah. Actually, she wanted a real one, and I was worried about her 95-year-old skin. Right. So we got these temporary tattoos, and they had dragonflies, and they actually also had butterflies, which was my great grandmother's meaningful bug. Yeah. I don't know what word to use. It was meaningful to her. So we had dragonflies and tattoos on Thea's arm, and then it was only the butterfly that lasted. But this butterfly lasted on her arm for like 2 months. It was a temporary tattoo, to the point, with her memory failing, that she truly believed and was very proud of the fact that it was a real tattoo. And when Joseph's sister visited, who was a tattoo artist, an amazing one, Thea introduced herself to Eve and said how beautiful her tattoo was and how painful it was. So we have an amazing gift for you guys. Would you like to talk about it?
So,
You're fine.
so, my mom bought for me rainbow, or like colorful, temporary tattoos from Amazon. And I had the idea to start a tattoo station here. So you guys can go there if you want.
Okay. All right.
I know a lot of you know my mother well, some of you better than others, but I hope this encapsulated my mother's spirit, which I hope remains with all of us for a very long time. We have a reception, wine, soft drinks, water, and enough food for 150 people. So please eat as much food as you possibly can, because we're going to be eating it tonight and probably tomorrow. So please enjoy yourself and share memories. And before I go, did anybody else have anything they wanted to say about my mother? There is no wrong time, but if somebody felt like they wanted to say something, I did not want to go through the evening or afternoon without the opportunity. If anybody does, please stand up and talk. If not, we will join and celebrate my mother's beautiful, beautiful life. And thank you all for being here. Come on, Donna. I'm glad it was you, Donna, because I knew your name.
Thea, I want to thank you for the beautiful gift you've given us all of your presence and also of your family, because they're all beautiful people and they've touched our lives.